Yep, in every dark situation, there is light. Yeah, poor Gracie was starving, but she came to visit us. And now her life is good. Right, Gracie? You're good? Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I got sick with the virus. It messed up my system, but in the long run, I learned a whole lot more about my body than I ever knew before. Well, I'm feeling pretty good. Yep, there's a silver lining.
You my good kitty, huh? Yeah, you are. Well, yeah, it's a good girl. Yes. Hey, say hello to everybody.
Greetings all. Well, not to bore you with too much discussion about gut biome and health, but I'm having rather extraordinary results here with the program of feeding my gut biome. Now, I'm not feeling perfect. This infection that really stimulated me to go in this direction has moved into my right ear and probably a lymph node over here. And so I got soreness on this side of the face. And I got a kitty here too. My cat just came up to meet me. Anyway, I'm not completely well yet, but the ear infection, I believe, is kind of a secondary infection that came from what was probably a viral attack. Reminded me of COVID so bad. As I've said already, it affected my mental state terribly. Well, hey, Gracie, quit banging on the camera stand. Cat's rubbing on the stand here. My diet hasn't always been really good. When I was a young man, I pretty much had standard American diet in the 1950s, meat and potatoes and a green bean on the side or something. I did not eat well in my youth, not really. I mean, I got enough food, but that was about it. It was somewhere there in the 1960s as the health food movement rose up and people started talking about organic food. And then I befriended the owner of a local health food store, the one and only local health food store in that town. And, we became good buddies, and he was an avid organic gardener, So that really drew me into this. That's kind of part of how I got involved. It's more complex. Had a family of people who grew, We ate fresh food whenever we visited the relatives. But in general, meat and potatoes, hot dogs. Yeah. My first word on earth was hot dog. Not mom, not dad, hot dog. Yeah. So, born in Chicago. You could still tempt me, with a Vienna Red Hot on a poppy seed roll, fully dressed. Yeah, you can still do that. But, anyway, general rules I have about diet, there are not very many. I am not a man with a lot of beliefs, and I believe less rules are generally better in life than more. Yeah, I see restrictions as not being the best situation for us. I like things that are expansive. So, in general, I'll usually eat just about anything that is slow enough to catch, soft enough to chew, and generally not known to be poisonous. Now, that aside, I like my food fresh. I don't care whether it's a fish or it's a vegetable. I like it fresh. I do not eat canned food generally much. Frozen foods are limited, only to things that need to be that way. Most everything I eat tends to be fresh. That's been one rule. Another rule was I try not to eat between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. I like to take a 12-hour fast every day. I think it's really good for us to do that. And when I can adhere to that, I usually manage to lose weight. Yeah, it's the best diet I ever had. Well, I also tend to avoid foods that are known to be hard on the planet. A whole lot of the agriculture that we have is hard on the planet. Don't matter really whether it's the soybean that made your tofu, or whether it was the cows that grazed your grass, and so on. There's problems environmentally with all of it, and so that's one of the reasons that I took to raising my own food a lot, because now I'm in control there, and I can say, well, this I think is a very acceptable way. That's one of the reasons. Yeah. Well, I also tend to avoid foods that are hard on my body. And these things maybe kind of change over time with age. Things that my body would tolerate when I was younger, it won't when I get older, because, they really weren't good for me in the first place, and I probably overdid it. Pork is one of them. I'll get gout effects if I eat pork, and so I don't eat pigs anymore, even though they're all over the island. But I don't eat them. I could eat a little bit of it, but that's all. And I generally don't eat shellfish much anymore. Love them. Oh man, oysters, shrimp. Yeah, I love that stuff. But it's just like the pork. It's high in purines, and it affects my gout problems. It accumulates uric acid in crystals in my joints. So it's hard on my body, so I don't do it, In this current diet that I've taken on in the attempt to try to recover my gut biome, I have refrained from giving my body the impossible tasks of trying to digest a half-pound double Western bacon cheeseburger, no Reuben sandwiches, thank you, and Kahlua pork, is off the menu. I have continued eating meat in the form of chicken mostly, and fish, but not in any large quantities. The major focus in this biome recovery diet has been, plant material. And so there's the one new rule for me that I have added. It's going to make a difference in the long run, I do believe. The new rule is feed the biome rather than the body. Yeah, it's a big problem, like our fast food and all that ultra-processed junk. It may feed the body, but it doesn't feed the biome, and it's actually destructive to it. Now, I never engaged in very much of that in recent years, I've been seen with a Whopper in my face before, but I don't eat much of it. Hardly ever find me in a fast food place. I don't eat chips. I'm not into snack foods much, I mostly like nice, fresh vegetables, fish, that kind of stuff, grains. This is my favorite thing to eat. So my diet hasn't really been all that bad in the last 30 years, at least. So the changes have been minor, but that's actually a big one. Yes, addressing the biome instead of addressing the nutrient in your body is something that was kind of really lacking. I sort of knew about this, but not enough. At the moment, it is too early to say that, yes, the change in diet has made all the difference in my world, but it certainly is helping. Okay, but I do believe it was the pre- and probiotic supplements that I took that really jump-started this thing. And the diet will be what carries it in the long run. But COVID messed with us. It messed with me. I know it. It messed with parts of my family, too. It's been quite a bit of depression around. Ever since that passed, I've been afraid of it because of how large the pandemic was and how many people would be affected. and I was frightened because I didn't know how it could be reversed. Well, I do believe I've landed on a solution, and that makes me very happy because it's working for me. But I'm really asking the viewers out there, if you came through COVID and you just don't feel the same, I know you're there. I know you're there. Okay. If that's your situation, and it's mostly just, you're more anxious, you're not as happy as you were, life doesn't mean as much, okay? Try it. Please, I'm really serious. Just try kicking it off with a pre and probiotic, and the pre is going to be as important as the pro. So don't just say, I'll take probiotics. No, both, and then alter your diet. Take a look at the video I did on the microbiome, and there are links there to people who discuss this, but there's also a link to a guy who is really covering the proper foods. He has it. It's pretty much the diet I'm following, and it's down there in the text. Hit that link. Listen to what he's got to say. Give it a try. And I'm asking y'all to kind of try this. If you felt sad after COVID, get back to me. Yeah, I want to hear the comments from people who have actually tried this, because it's working for me. I see too much depression, anxiety, and sadness in the streets today. It's everywhere. I was afraid of it. But there could be a solution here. I'm darn certain there is a solution here. Please, try it. Hey, Louis. Aloha.